Hey everybody, I want to take you along on a Dall sheep hunt I did last summer up in the Northwest Territories. This is the hunt I actually won at the Utah chapter of Wild Sheep Foundation about 3 years prior. You got to be in the room. I guess you're there 20 years or so, you're bound to get lucky and win a hunt. Well, it's finally time to go do that hunt. Had a good buddy of mine and guide friend of mine from here in Utah, Wayne Brown. He wanted to go along for the fun. Extended this thing to a 15-day hunt so we could find hopefully a good ram, take our time hunting sheep, maybe a big caribou or two, and anything else that got in our way. But anybody that's hunted in Northwest Territories knows just how remote it is to get there. You know, you fly commercially to Edmonton, then to Yellowknife, and then clear to Norman Wells, which feels like it's, you know, the last civilization in the North Country, and then you got to charter in from there. Had beautiful weather. It was actually unseasonably really, really hot. The hottest I've ever had on a thinhorn hunt was this hunt last year. It was, low 90s in base camp, which was incredibly warm. So anyway, it was a great adventure, and let's go see what it was all about. So we had a great day to get flown out. It was as sunny as it could be. Got dropped off on a lake. There we met our guide, Dak, and Packer Levi, great guys. They'd been there for a day or so waiting for us to get there, Wayne and I. Got dropped off, made sure we weren't duplicating up too much stuff in our packs last minute because we could send it out with the plane. Because what's with you on this hunt is with you through the duration. This was a drop-off backpack hunt as you go. There's no where we were going, there's no pickup point until you'd already hunted out 7 to 10 days. So you're going to just backpack hunt as you go. It's kind of the purest form of just mountain hunting. Not like you got a band of rams in mind you're going for. It's just you and the mountain. Take what the mountain gives you. Had beautiful weather, set up camp just off the lake down a mile or two. Looked around that night and the next morning. Then we decided we better get some elevation, look in the back of some of the canyons. Again, it was really hot. Didn't see a whole lot those first 2-3 days. Then I think it was day 3, the rain started. We started making a push up to where we want to try to get to, some of the ram pastures that they'd seen in years past. And the rain hit. And anybody that's hunted in North Country knows that you got to plan on some bad weather. You got to plan on some tent days. We definitely had some of those. Luckily, when you have a 15-day hunt, you can afford to lose a day or two, or the better portion of a day or two in between, just to rain. And you get good at telling stories. Good to have some audio books or things like that in camp to pass the time. But that's just going to be a given on a North Country hunt. So the better part of 2 or 3 days, we had partial clearing in the morning or the afternoon, evening. We'd hike up to some high points, maybe get some eyes on sheep a long ways away, then just get rained and fogged out, have to dive back down to the tent and wait it out, try it again the next day, work yourself up the drainage. We did that for 2 or 3 days. So now we're getting to a day about, 5 or 6, and it was time, all right, we got a day that we can kind of get up, clear this pass, gain a lot of elevation. It's just a grinder. It's going to be a grinder day. Got up and over the top, through the pass, set up camp, got up on a ridge that night, saw our first ram that was at least in our zip code. We'd seen some long ways away that were obviously not the type of rams we were going to go after, but got a real good look at this ram. He just wasn't what we were looking for, a little bit young, not a 10-year-old type ram, but nice to see, close to camp. Walked back that night, spent the night. The next morning, woke up, making breakfast, and it was beautiful. It was time to make hay that day. We knew we'd finally kind of got on the backside of all the weather. This was day 6, and now we're just going to start working down this giant untouched drainage that had always been a spot, hunted every several years that usually produced rams. And it wasn't long that day, and we spotted rams on a far ridge, and it was time to get closer and get a look at them.
No, he's the one we were looking at on the skyline is still there. Yeah.
So we started down the drainage. We'd probably gone about a mile, and we looked over, and there's a couple really good caribou, one really, really good bull. And at this point, Wayne and I are looking at ourselves. We knew the guides kind of was written all over their face. We were 6 days into a backpack hunt and covered a lot of country, and there's nowhere to get picked up or anything like that. Not the place to shoot a caribou unless he was just unbelievable. And he was a really good caribou, no question about it. But, it would have basically put the sheep hunt on hold, shooting him and getting him shuttled all the way out of there, for 2 days or whatever to an airstrip. And it just wasn't worth it. We'd just seen our first rams. We got close to that first group of rams. There were 6 or 7 rams. Nothing we wanted. So we were a little bit disappointed, just because from a long ways away, you're always hopeful you're going to get there and find what you're looking for. So as we started rounding the drainage to go into the next drainage, we finally stopped. We saw a grizzly bear down below us. We were watching that. And we looked back on the ridge just off the very end of the bluffs from where all those 6 or 7 were, and we saw two white dots coming out of this little cave. I don't know if it was a mineral lick or whatnot. And threw the scopes on them, and boom, immediately we knew we had a couple of mature rams together. Something we're like, all right, this looks interesting. So got some good video of them right there, as you're going to see. 2 rams, they bedded together, got up, just postured. They were just old buddies off by themselves. These other rams were 400 or 500 yards from them. We decided just to blow straight below them into the drainage that night. We had a loud stream. Cover all of our, hopefully, scent noise down there, get out of their eyesight. So we set up camp, and we're going to be hiking that mountain first thing the next morning, which is exactly what we did. So we spent the night right below these rams, woke up early the next morning, had breakfast, went basically in kill mode. We knew that one or both of these rams were they were full curl, but we didn't know how old they were exactly, but we had a really pretty good idea. One of these rams was probably good enough to kill. It was a straight up vertical climb to him the next morning. We had to cross this raging creek I talked about. And I don't know, against my own better judgment, standing on a rock, another mossy rock about 4 or 5 feet out there, tried to jump and play it cute. My guides were taking off their boots and putting on their Crocs and crossing. I'm like, if I can just jump this river, it'll save me a bunch of time. Well, I jumped, and as soon as my foot hit, it just came out from under me, and I face planted, full pack, straight in about 18 inches of water, ice cold water, and was drenched, everything about me. So that was how I started my morning, and I had to basically have a yard sale, strip everything off, and didn't take all my clothes. A lot of them were just back at camp. So I ended up just throwing on my rain gear bottoms and wearing those up the mountain, because my pants and everything, socks, were just drenched. But we got to the top and just started playing cat and mouse, trying to find these rams. And they'd moved. There was the two better rams, these 6 or 7 others, and we couldn't find any of them. And when the last thing you want to do is blow them off the mountain that they're on. And so just one of those, peek over here, drop down a little bit lower, maybe they're back over here, loop around. And then we decided we just got to get higher. And while we're hiking higher, I decided to take one little peek down below us, because once we walked below this little drainage, which is actually closer to camp, just wrapped around from camp, once we leave that, we're going to keep going a direction that we're going to, invest the better part of the half of the day going another direction. As soon as I peeked over, I could see 2 rams right below us. It's these 2 bigger rams that left the other 2, probably moved 1,500 yards overnight down into some bluffs, and were bedded down, and it was game on.
Oh. That's a dead ram.
Pretty dead.
That was awesome. That never gets old.
And, you know, that feeling never gets old. Setting up on a ram, waiting for the right shot, and, you know, taking a ram and walking up on him with a bunch of good friends. And, you know, it was a special moment. So.
He's gonna come on me, but I'll try to.
Nice looking sheep. Beauty.
Beauty. Well, we're done. Thanks everybody. What an awesome day. We've spent 7 days out here in the Mackenzie Mountains together, looking at some awesome country. Amazing country.
Yeah.
Just endless, amazing sheep country. And had a little bit of weather, but then yesterday, man, talk about a beautiful day. Saw, what, 10 or 12 rams, I guess, total.
Yeah, we had the scope out all day.
Yeah, we'd walk away, pull it out, walk a little bit further, pull it out again, that's what you want.
Yeah.
But found this guy and his buddy late in the afternoon yesterday, high up in some real cliffy stuff, and caused us to backtrack. We'd actually were just about to round the bend and not see him really.
Yeah.
We'd glassed the mountain several times, and they came out of a little hole, little cave in there, either bedded or something. But anyway, knew we need to get a better look, and we did last night, and thought, all right, they probably need a closer look, because, you know, they look like what we're here for, but we got to make sure they're old enough. And we pitched camp last night below them, started after them this morning. I had a minor
swim in the creek.
bathe in 33-degree water, unintended bath, face first in the creek with the pack. Thought I could just hop rocks, but they're obviously a lot slicker. So after that escapade, we started up the mountain. It was a grunt. We got up here, and there was no rams. Right where there was 6 or 7 up here yesterday. Couldn't find any of them, so we just did a big loop trying to get higher and get a different angle, and look down in this hole right here. And him and his buddy, they're bedded right up here, just content. Been in here probably licking around, rubbing in these bluffs, and just a perfect scenario. They were, I don't know, 550 yards or something like that, and we cut it in a little over half, about 285, and crested over, and gave Dak the look he needed to know that he had enough age, and that's what we're here for, like we said.
Yeah, he's a beautiful Arctic red ram, that's for sure.
Beautiful ram.
Can't pass that sheep any day.
And I'm happy, appreciate Dak, Levi, Wayne. It's an awesome trip. Day 7, we got
Still got half the hunt left. We got some caribou. We got a couple days
to get out of here at least, but save some time to go hunt some lichen lickers now. So,
That's right.
Anyway, appreciate you guys. This is always a team effort.
Totally.
I pulled the trigger, but that feels like the easiest part of the trip. You know, everything else that goes into it's pretty special. So thank you guys, appreciate it.
Right on, man.
Awesome. And got more to tell, hopefully.
Yeah, totally.
Sergeant
Beautiful
goes on.
ram.
You prepare for the extreme, That's why I rely on Precision Hunter ammunition. I never have to compromise at any distance. Hornady Precision Hunter ammunition.
And once we took care of the ram, it was just a matter of walking down, 1,000 feet down, elevation down, dropping back down to camp. It was pretty easy, actually, to pack out. And, sun was shining. And it was just one of those times, all right, we don't got anywhere to be. We just killed a ram. We're halfway through this hunt. We're going to enjoy it tonight. We're going to eat good. We're going to eat the ribs. We're going to build a fire and just enjoy this night. Take it easy. We had a good weather window the next day that we knew we could wake up and make a really big, long day push and hopefully get out of there on day 8, hopefully. That ended up being a really grinding day. Obviously, you got a sheep to spread out between you, but you still got, a fair amount of food. And, it was just a lot of bushwhacking through timber at different periods of that day. Just a very technical day, just one that just got down to the next river valley where we could get picked up just before dark that night. So really not enough time to do anything but throw out your tent and call it a night. And then move the next day to a more suitable spot down the drainage where you get picked up, get the sheep, cape, horns, meat picked up and moved, taken back to base camp while you get moved to hunt caribou.
Here, explain the process, Wayne.
Well, first you have to get a sheep, of course.
You have to get a sheep, okay, check.
And then when you're about all done with everything, you open him up, get some of that nice intestinal fat right there.
Yep.
Bring that back, cut the tendies out, get you a nice flat rock, heat it up, render that fat down.
If you can hear that.
And throw your tendies on.
Oh, wow. That's actually amazing. In the meantime, in the background, you got ribs.
Got a rib
Slow
smoking
bacon
there.
on the back rock. It's living, man. That's amazing. You're waiting to get picked up. Sun came out finally. We had a yard sale and dried out. Build a strip out here. Build something like that. See a few gravel spots we leveled out. Might get picked up tonight. Go hunt caribou.
So we got camp set up just not far from the runway, probably 500-600 yards away. Climbed up on the ridge, looked around a little bit that night, saw a couple caribou bulls way high. Like I said, it was warm again. The bugs were kind of bad, and it kind of made us a little bit nervous that we weren't going to see a whole lot in these drainage bottoms, that we're going to have to strap on the pack and go on almost like another sheep hunt and get up to these caribou. But the next morning we woke up, we worked down to where a big drainage came together and met the drainage that we were camped in, decided let's just sit here, watch the better part of the morning, glass, and see what we can turn up. And lo and behold, midday, here comes this caribou bull trotting down out of this side canyon, running down the main drainage. And then he runs down there about 600-800 yards and stops. And you can tell he's kicking, he's agitated, he's bothered. But caribou are goofy. and the bugs were bothering him, but pretty soon he came running back up, and we're 450, 500 yards. I'm trying to get a rest, and he just wouldn't stop. He ran back into the drainage he came out of. I was frustrated because I thought, man, it's a great bull. He's in it. He's right here where we got dropped off. It'd be easy to get him out, but it wasn't meant to be. So we sat there for another couple hours. Because middle of the days, I mean, always not, doesn't feel like the most productive time of day, but we'd actually moved down closer to where if he came out or any other caribou came out, we realized we were in a little bit of, we were great to glass from, but not to kill from if something happened that quick. Well, that ended up being the difference, because we had our pack, my gun was on a bipod, I just left it sitting there, and we were sitting back on the bank, kind of in the shade. Next thing you know, this caribou standing on the other side of the river, wanting to come across on our side. And this is a river running 3 or 4 feet deep, and so it's kind of a barrier. Nothing for a caribou, but he was getting his I guess ambition up, and pretty soon I think one of the guys, I was getting ready to maybe just shoot him on that side, and one of the guys hollered and yelled, and I don't know what that caribou heard, but he jumped into the water and swam and ran across onto our side and started shaking off. And I hammered him. I mean, I shot him 1, 2, 3 times. He went down, and within 40 yards of the strip. It was just one of those things like, did that really happen? And I think when you watch the video, we obviously didn't even have the camera out and running when this thing came out and jumped on our side. And it was like, this is just a gift. And killed him right there from camp. I shuttled it literally 40 yards. And it was a pretty cool ending to really what seemed like a dead time of the day.
This hunt went.
He came back out, boys, right on the strip. Came across the water.
This hunt went from good to better real fast.
Unreal.
Oh, jeez.
He literally just came out.
So,
There's the landing strip right there. And what do we got there?
All right. Well, you said to steal on the sheep, and it took 3 minutes, so maybe I'll help you out. What a crazy afternoon. We were sitting up on the hill, glassing caribou up on the mountainside, way up and away, and this bull came charging out of this creek into the main South Fork. We tried to shoot him once, and then he just charged out of here. We thought he was gone forever, and an hour and a half later, he came flying across the creek. I started yelling at him, and then Adam took care of the rest.
It was crazy. I don't know. We've been there up there for, 3-4 hours, something like that. Probably been, like I said, an hour and a half. He came down. I don't know what he was doing. He was just crazy, running around like he was just lost or something. But luckily he came back, and this time he crossed the river, because that's a deep river. It came up to about right here on him.
Yeah.
When they came through. So he's on our side. And how far is he from the airstrip?
37 yards.
We got dropped here last night to hunt the last 5 days or so for caribou, and first day here we got one 37 yards from the strip, so hard to beat that. That's why he got bullets. He's a great bull though, to boot, so now we don't have to pack him off of those mountains. So awesome stuff.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. It was awesome.
He's done.
So we had a caribou down on day 10, spent the rest of the afternoon basically shuttling meat. We couldn't get it picked up that night, so we took the meat up into a little side draw on the north slope, peeled back the moss, laid it all in there. It was really nice and cool. Covered it up, figured that'd be the best place for it since it was unseasonably warm. And they were gonna come try to pick it up the next day, the meat and the antlers and all that, and get that out of camp. Which they did. Levi had to take off at the end of day 9 and 10. That's kind of a normal turnover for the other sheep hunters that were in camp. Dak's dad, Al Clausen, which is obviously a legend in NWT and Yukon, great sheep hunter. He was able to leave his hunt, come out with us for that last 5 days. Levi, which was a big help for us, he had to go out to get a second sheep hunt. But Dak and his dad, Al, they were going to team up for another 15-day hunt as soon as Dak was done with us. So, when they came to get the caribou meat, Al decided, well, I might as well just get out there instead of sit here at base camp. So Al came out. It was great to spend the next 4 or 5 days with him, just talking stories, talking about his historical perspective of that Arctic Red River country. Very valuable. A lot of good talks there. Of course, the days are long. A lot of time glassing behind, the binos, trying to find a bull for Wayne. Just weren't able to do it. We spent the next 3 or 4 days, walking up and down the drainage, getting high, glassing. We saw a few bulls a long ways up on the tops of the peaks, but just kind of had a weather funk going, and they just weren't moving a whole lot. They were dug in.
Wow, day 11 here, 7 p.m. Haven't done much videoing. Been too busy hunting. Sitting up on the knob. Picked up some sheep steaks. The wily old veteran in camp now. Class A guide. Seen a couple bulls up on a skyline about 6 kilometers away, but that's about it today. Hanging out. Eating dinner with the crew. See what tomorrow brings. Day 12. Hunting caribou for the third day in a row. Hiked upstream, couple K. Looking over a big piece of the river. Some mountains. Dad's through the trees there. See him. Nice. Glassing. See if something shows up. It's pretty hot and slow. Morning of day 13 here. Walking down the river. Get up on our perch, look for caribou. Smoking hot again. See how she goes, maybe get lucky again. A cloud in the sky for about the 4th day in a row.
But then on the morning of day 14, we were just literally standing around camp, just got done eating our breakfast. We're all in our camp shoes and Crocs. And somebody yelled wolf, and we turned to look down the drainage, 400 or 500 yards back towards the strip, which is obviously where I'd killed my caribou. We'd thrown pretty much everything else into the river because, we had grizzly tracks up and down this corridor. We didn't want that right there next to us. So we'd thrown everything in there, but there's just enough there that we got a better look at it once we got our binos up. It was actually a Wolverine. He was running from the brush line all the way out into the creek bed, picking up bloody rocks in his mouth and running them back to the trees, probably licking them off. And he did that once all the way while we were running to cut the distance. And we cut that distance probably in half. We were probably 250 or something yards. And looked up, and here he came running back out of the trees, running all the way back over there. Wayne was able to get proned out on the gun, and on his way back, we were able to yell at him. Of course, we didn't get anything on film because this happened literally while we're standing around camp in our camp shoes. But anyway, Wayne hammered him, made another really eventful, 5 minutes there that just went from zero to everything happening. It was really awesome to see Wayne kill a Wolverine. That's something very rare to do. Al, I think, had only killed, this is maybe the 3rd one he'd killed there in all the decades he'd been there guiding sheep. So something very rare, awesome addition to the trip there. And, took care of that, fleshed it, kind of just enjoyed the rest of the evening knowing that the next day we're going to get flown out. And unfortunately, this hunt was going to come to an end. It's been an awesome trip. It's been another good night. Roasting stuff over the fire again, telling stories with Al and Dak.
What do you think, Wayne? What just happened, buddy?
Oh, we're just sitting around camp lying to each other, killing the morning, and Wolverine comes out and picking up some scraps off Adam's caribou. We run down here in our camp shoes and smoking. We're in our Crocs, man.
How about that, boys?
Hunt, man.
Wolverine, that's so rare.
I know. I missed one. First time I went to Alaska.
He's hard to get a range on, man.
I know. So flat.
Yeah, it was like 225, I think.
So I just held
He's so occupied by that meat.
He had a rock in his mouth.
Is that what he had?
Looks like a rock. I thought it looked like he had a rock. Yeah, it must have had some blood on it or something. Hey? Just a blood covered. That's what it looked like. I'm like, it looks like he's got a rock in his mouth.
Well, that coagulated blood, I tried to like bury it, eh? So he's probably.
That was sick. You ran here. Then,
They stop. I'm sure he's dead.
For that camp cook.
Tag your 11th one.
Let's do it. I don't even care.
So anyway, I'd always wanted to hunt the Northwest Territories. I'd hunted Alaska several times, as well as the Yukon. And you just kind of, that's part of the thing about hunting sheep is the places where they live. And in this case, thin-horn sheep. I've hunted BC, Yukon, Alaska, now Northwest Territories. It was an awesome, just an epic trip. 15 days out there, got flown out. It's always one of those things when you got to get on the plane to leave. You meet the hunters coming in that are full of the same energy and enthusiasm that you had 2 weeks prior, but you're a little bit sad. You miss it already before you're even gone. That's just the thing about leaving the North Country. So it's a very special place. Want to thank Tavis and all the crew there at Arctic Red River Outfitters. Did a fantastic job for us. Dak and Levi, and then of course Al. We had a great time with them all. Met new friends and made a lot of good memories on the mountain.